Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only Angel Ortega. Lots to talk about this week. Obviously, we got UFC Colombus. We're going to tackle some MMA news. We also got some fan questions coming in. As always, they're brought to you by Rogue Energy. Doing 10% off your order at rogueenergy.com. Use the code Soundoff at checkout. It's code Soundoff at checkout for 10% off of all your energy needs. Obviously, a great sponsor of the show for a long time. Love working with them. Great sponsor, great people over there, great products. Again, with 10% off your order, code Soundoff at rogueenergy.com. Last Saturday night from Columbus, Ohio, Nationwide Arena. Honestly, bit of a banger of a card, in my personal opinion. Curtis Blaydes, though, in the main event, knocking out Chris Dawkins in the second round. Certainly not the way that a lot of people thought it was going to go. Obviously, a lot of people just kind of assumed maybe, Blaydes played it safe, maybe just go out there, wrestle him. Nah, man, comes out and immediately cracks Dawkins. Man, as far as the performance goes, essentially flawless on the side of Curtis Blaydes, but as far as it goes, who do you want to see him face next? And what were your thoughts on his performance last Saturday?
I mean, I feel like you can get any top guy now, you know? I know it wasn't... He's coming off a win, right? Volkov, right? If I believe so.
He beat Jairzinho last time out.
So he's running a 3-win streak right now. Volkov, Jairzinho, and Dawkins, right?
No, he's 2 fights. Dawkins, Jairzinho got knocked out by Lewis, and then he beat Volkov before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, okay. Well, I mean, I don't think they'll put him against Derek. I mean, it just depends what they kind of want to do to him. If they want to put, maybe Stipe potentially, but I don't know if they'll do Tuivasa. I mean, he has options. I mean, he's just not in a super good position because of the people he's lost to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they would. Maybe they'd want a Derek rematch, which I don't know. I don't know if Derek wants that, and I don't know if they'll do that for Derek or for him, but I feel like that actually, in my opinion, makes the most sense to an extent if he wants to get back into title contention if they were to do it properly, but I don't think they'll end up doing that.
Yeah, I don't think he's in a bad position, not only because of the people that he's lost to, but just because heavyweight's in a clusterfuck, honestly, at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, Ngannou's out, you know. Jones, who knows if he's ever going to fight again. He says that he is, but...
He says he is, Josh. I mean, you got to believe him.
It's not like John Jones has ever lied before or anything, you know. Yeah, I mean, as far as Blaydes go, I don't know who he's going to fight next. He's in such a bad position. Not only does he have 2 losses to the champion that were just so dominant, he also lost to Lewis. I do think, like, if he were to go ahead and fight him again, I think he'd probably beat him, you know. But regardless, I don't know if they want to run that fight back so quickly. But yeah, I mean, as far as his performance goes, flawless. I did not like this matchup, honestly, for Dawkins more than anything.
It was a quick turnaround for him, too.
It was a quick turnaround, and it was rough. And obviously, he, you know, got knocked out. Afterwards, Curtis Blaydes actually gave a suggestion that a lot of people have been recently talking about. I want to get your take on this. Chris Dawkins, he hasn't really talked about it, I don't believe. But some people have talked about how maybe he should consider going down to light heavyweight. He walks around at about 240, but he has a whole lot of flab on him. Is that a move that you think could be in his future, especially considering he's lost badly to 2 top guys?
I don't know. I mean, maybe he could, but I feel like that's a very big commitment for a guy at his age, like 32 years old. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe he could do it. I mean, he's 6'3". Maybe if he does it right, gets the right nutrition around him, cuts down, feels comfortable, maybe he could get some stuff rolling, but I don't know. I think he's maybe one of those guys who's just genuinely heavyweight.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the camp of if he wants to try it out, it'd be interesting. Because you could tell, you know, Curtis was talking about, he's like, you know, you can walk around at 240, but you're not a heavyweight, you know. Curtis walks around 260. You can see that there was a bit of a size difference just in terms of, like, physicality, in terms of strength and stuff. And Chris Dawkins, he's not bad at heavyweight, but if he wants to be a contender, maybe that's a move that he should look to make in the future. Still only 32 years old, though, so we'll see what happens with him moving forward. Co-main, I mean, honestly, the main event didn't really have any stakes. This co-main event, though, we talked about it going in. Alexa Grasso, she can move her way into title contention. She moved down to flyweight back in 2020. She was on a 2-fight winning streak, and she's taking on Joanne Wood, former supposed to be title challenger, ranked in the top 10 essentially since the division started. And man, she made it look easy in there. She goes in there, surprisingly gets a submission. That was her first ever submission win, Angel, surprisingly. She gets it done in round 1. What do you think is next for her? And just how impressed we're here with her victory on last Saturday.
I was impressed, man. Good for her. I mean, she's grown a lot, and especially in this division, man. I mean, she's made her way up really quick. I mean, she is doing everything the right way. Right now everything's going really well. She's 28, man. She's so young, and she has so much time, and really, if she does it right, I mean, maybe she could do it. Obviously, once she gets into that title fight, though, that's going to be the hardest test. I mean, it's not to downplay any of the girls, right? I mean, everybody's really good in division, but there's a significant gap between the champ and the rest of the division. No one's even been close to beating Valentina in her title reign in this specific weight class.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's lost when she's fought Amanda, but not in her weight class respectively. I mean, she's dominated it pretty well. And at least the one good thing, though, right now is they're keeping her motivated, or they're trying to keep Valentina, I think, motivated by giving her options and a number of different people, because they're trying to push some people, because they already got Talia Santos, scheduled. That's going to happen in Singapore. Alexa Grasso is in the picture. And we haven't even talked about it in a while, but Miesha Tate, dude, she's going to fight Lauren Murphy. Another option there. And Magne Fiorot, who fought on this card, and we're going to talk about her probably here in a bit, she's also making her way up. She's 7 now. She jumped up 6 spots. So, and like I said, there's a significant gap right now between the champ and the rest of the division. So for Alexa Grasso, I mean, it's just dependent of how much progress she can make, how hard she can keep growing. And I mean, clearly she's working very hard. But I do think she's going to have to get another win in. I know Jessica Andrade is scheduled to fight someone. I can't remember who it is on top of my head. Maybe she's
moving back down to strawweight.
Oh, she's going down to strawweight. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say maybe the loser of that. I forgot who she was scheduled against, but I thought it was anyway. Maybe the loser of Lauren Murphy, Miesha Tate. Maybe she gets that, puts her in a number 1 contender position. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably the thing that makes the most sense. Wait for that fight to plan out, and then she gets she gets the winner or loser of that. I feel like that would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, personally, dude, I'm so impressed with Alexa Grasso. I've hyped her up for a long time, and if she really did look like somebody that was just going to be not really failed potential, but not as good as you would like. I remember we were hearing about her coming out of the Lobo gym like years ago, dude. She was fighting in Invicta, and she got moved to the UFC pretty quick, and I forget just how young she was, dude. And now she's still 28 years old. She's on a nice winning streak. As far as looking to the future, I think I like what you said there with the Lauren Murphy Miesha Tate fight. I think she'd probably fight the winner of that one, and probably have the winner of that challenge Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, honestly, I like that Shevchenko Talia Santos fight a whole lot. I think people are kind of sleeping on Talia Santos a bit there. I think
everybody is. We need to see that one play out first. I think that's very important too.
Yeah,
because
she's improved so much. She looks so fucking good.
I mean, you're not 19-1 for no reason, especially. I mean, she could be undefeated in the UFC too. I mean, she lost her first fight by split decision.
Yeah, and it's not just how she's dominating these girls. Like, there are some people that you're seeing making their way up the division, and I really don't want to take a shot at Alexa Grasso because she just have a great win. But outside of that, she had a close win over Macy Barber, a close win over Ji Yeon Kim. She's making her way up the division by kind of point fighting, and you see that happen a lot where these girls will have these kind of winning streaks based off of the fact of it's a close split decision. I think Lauren Murphy had 3 of her 4 decision victories come via split before fighting for the title or something close to that. And whenever you're not impressed with them before they face Shevchenko. Talia Santos is not making any bones of she is dominating these girls. It's not even close when she actually faced off against them. So I do think she's being a bit overlooked. So people are just maybe Alexa Grasso can just fight Shevchenko later. I'm like, dude, don't overlook Talia Santos. But yeah, as far as the future, I would love to see Grasso versus the winner of Miesha Tate, Lauren Murphy. I honestly like the move. We didn't really talk about it in the moment. Do you like the move of Miesha Tate moving down to 125? I honestly think it's a really smart move by her.
I mean, we'll see how it works out. I mean, she's progressed a lot, and really, she can get to that title shot really quick in this division, honestly. I think she had better odds moving quicker in this division than her previous division, if I'm being quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it was a good choice. Hopefully apparently according to her, she's making all the right moves. We'll have to see, though. We have to see how the weight cut goes and how she does against Lauren Murphy. But I think Lauren Murphy's a really good matchup for her, too, though.
Yeah, and that's no disrespect to Lauren Murphy, but I'm kind of waiting for a minute for that Lauren Murphy, like, Cinderella story to kind of, like, come crashing down. That's
it kind of did.
It
Josh.
did against Shevchenko. She got badly beaten, but she was still on an insane run before that. I mean, she had a couple of, close decisions in there, but, 6-5 winning streak to get the title.
She could still do something. You never know.
Yeah, but I do think that Miesha Tate fight, which is going down May 14th, I think that's a really good match for Miesha, man.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I think they're trying to fast track her to the title potentially, which I don't blame them, But what's interesting? There's a lot of moving and shaking going on at 125. Because I'm not sure if you heard about this fight. So you know how Caitlin Chukagian, ranked number 2, she's never going to fight for the title again, at least if Shevchenko's champion. But she's so good that she beats essentially everybody else. I'm not sure. Have you heard of her next fight?
Who's she fighting?
So May 14th, this card it's going to be headlined by Jan Rakic. I just mentioned how Miesha is going to be fighting Lauren Murphy on there. Also on there, Caitlin Chukagian is going to be taking on Amanda Ribas, who is moving up the flyweight.
Really? She just decided to make that move?
She decided to make that move, and she's getting the number 2 ranked person in the division.
Oh, options upon options. I wonder why she's deciding to do that.
Probably just sees how the division is at 125 versus 115. I think it's probably the smart move for her, honestly. Oh. She's only fought at 125 one time. It was against Paige Van Zandt. That's when she submitted her in the first. So,
I mean, good for her. I mean, that's interesting. I wonder if I guess because of the Marina Rodriguez fight, maybe that's why she's doing that?
Potentially.
I don't know.
Regardless, 125 is in a good place right now, but, I think it's actually a more interesting division. A lot of people give it credit for, but I think we spent long enough on that division. Moving on down, still in UFC Columbus, Brian Barberena, Matt Brown. This is fight of the night for sure. Barberena ends up getting the split decision victory in Matt Brown's hometown. Both these guys, interestingly enough, both of them were on the last fight of their deal in this one. And, Barberena defeats Brown and gets booed out of the fucking building. First of all, did you agree with the decision? And secondly, what were your thoughts on just the horrific Ohio crowd booing the shit out of him?
Maybe we should just used to be these crowds, man. You know how it is.
True.
It's no surprise. I mean, I didn't have an issue with the decision. I know some people had it for Matt Brown, but
yeah,
I didn't personally. But
yeah, I mean, I thought Barberena won it, but it was very, very close.
It was fun though. I mean, it doesn't matter. I enjoyed it. And plus that, it's not, it's going to sound shady to say a little bit, but none of these guys are fighting for a title anytime soon, so I don't have like a big issue with it because of that too. I know it sucks for the person and for the other person if they obviously, because they wanted to win, obviously. But, I mean, it's okay, man. They had a fun fight. They both got paid well. I'm sure they both got bonuses, so, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, both of those guys, like you went ahead and said they're not going to be fighting for a title anytime soon, but I found this actually very interesting. So, I mentioned how both these guys are on the last fights of their deals. Matt Brown has already signed a new contract. He lost the fight. Brian Barberena has apparently not heard back. Apparently they want to get out of the Brian Barberena business, seemingly.
That's the UFC for you.
Because he talked about it. He talked about, like, after the fight, he's like, yeah, I tried to meet with the UFC about, potentially re-upping my contract, and they didn't want to talk about it. I was like, that's kind of fucked up, man, even though he won the fight. And they actually, I guess they must have thought it was just a horrific decision, because they also, I believe Matt Brown said they paid his win bonus. So, for some reason, they thought it was just a robbery or some shit. I don't know. Regardless, though, nice thing for Brian Barberena. If that's the end of his UFC career, man, full props to him, dude. I mean, this is a guy that was never... You could see it in his body, dude. Like, he's not an athletic guy. He's a farm boy who has his own farm out in, like, Tennessee, I believe.
That's lit.
And he even whenever he talked about his contract, he's like, yeah, if they don't re-up, I'm just gonna go retire to the farm. Just take care of shit down there. Like he just, you kind of forget it because he's not like Bryce Mitchell with the super thick accent, but like, he's a guy that came to swing and bang. Been in the UFC since 2014. We'll see what happens with him. I hope they re-up his contract. He's never been in a boring fight ever. So we'll see what happens. I'm glad Matt Brown got another contract though. He is 41. But dude, he comes to fight. I mean, he's still, even though like he's lost 3 of his last 4, all those fights were close. The Condit fight was very close. He rocked Baeza before he, got knocked out, nearly knocked out Baeza, and the split decision with Barberena. It was a close fight, man. So I'm glad they re-upped his contract at least. Moving on to flyweight, Kai Kara-France, dude. Kai Kara-France is the one in 14-1. He defeats Askar Askarov. Askarov was, I believe, the biggest favorite on the card, and he beats him via unanimous decision. I will note this was a very close fight. I saw some people saying that they thought Askarov won. What were your thoughts on the decision, and what were your thoughts on Kai Kara-France's performance on Saturday?
I don't have any issues with it. Dude, wasn't he trying to get appealed? I thought I saw something on Twitter about that.
I don't know. Let me see.
There was some sort of news like that. I don't know if it was like Askar's camp was trying to appeal it, or the commission just thought there was a wrong decision, but I thought I saw something about it trying to get appealed.
I don't see anything.
I saw something on Twitter. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm 100% sure about this. Regardless, though, it doesn't matter. I didn't have an issue with the decision. Thought it was fine. I mean, it was a good performance. I mean, not necessarily what I was expecting, but I mean, good for Kai Kara, man. I mean, he did it. He beat him. He's the one, like you said, and he put himself in a great position to be in line for the title, or even get himself in that conversation. Which, I mean, we were talking about it before the show even started, about kind of that division and kind of everything going on there.
For sure,
with the champ and the former champ.
Yeah, I mean, 125. I mean, we talked about women's. Might as well tackle men's, right?
Right.
Dude, I mean, Kai Kara-France might be getting a title shot next. Probably not, I will note, because, Figueiredo actually requested to not have to face Moreno next. And his reason was he said that Brandon Moreno's team made racist comments about him. Because I guess before, like,
Did you look into this, by the way? Because I heard about this. I heard the story.
So I saw an ESPN Deportes interview with, interview with Brandon Moreno, and he was talking about it, and he's like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. So I guess before they fought the third time, Moreno's coach was like messing with like filters on Instagram, and he was like, he put like, you know how like they have like monkey head and like other animal heads, like you can put on a body or whatever. He did it to Figueiredo. He put a monkey on like his head, but he also did it to Dana White and other people. And Moreno was like, he's just fucking lying. He's just scared. Like he knows that I'm a bad matchup for him, so he doesn't want to fight me. So now he's making this shit up. That's obviously he didn't say that exactly. This man's a saint. He would not say that directly, but he essentially said he's running.
And then he called him a put nose.
No, but he essentially stated that just without cuss words. He's like, he's lying. He knows what he's doing. He knows that I'm a tougher matchup for him. He wants an easier fight.
He said I'm the real money fight. Because you're taking everything I worked for, motherfucker. I'm fighting your ass. Play the intro.
Fight your ass, motherfucker. Yeah, man. They gotta do that fourth fight. I mean, as far as
are you kind of more accepting it? You know something, Josh? It weirds me out that you don't want it as much, because you know something, in boxing, when there's a great boxing match, I mean, who is it? I'm blanking on the guys right now. Oh god.
Marquez Pacquiao fought 4 times? Is that what
and what was the other? Was it a Canadian fighter? And no, what is it? There's another really good one that they fought 3 times. One of the fighters passed away, sadly.
Gaddy Ward.
Yeah, Arturo Gatti Ward. Like, no one fucking complains that they fought 3 times, but for some reason, Josh, in MMA, it's just different.
Well, it is different because, like, granted, Gaddy Ward was a different situation because I believe those guys fought 3 times in a row.
Yes.
So that was a little bit different.
That shit was stupid.
But in the case of, like, which these guys have already done, they're going to do it a 4th time. We spent 2 years on these guys.
I mean, they've all been great, by the way.
The division has not moved whatsoever. I'm accepting of it for the pure fact that I feel like, at the time, Pantoja deserved a title shot, right? And he didn't get it.
He deserved it because Brandon was champ. I think that's probably why.
That's the only reason. But now that Figueiredo's champ, I thought, but I thought the guy that probably should get it was Askarov because he was undefeated. He had a draw with Moreno.
Look, I think it's more of a
He'd
weird
already
position
beaten
now.
Pantoja. So
Look. Let me get into it. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think it's more of a weird position now because Askarov lost. Because look, Kai Kara's lost to Brain, I'm pretty sure. He lost to Pantoja on the Ultimate Fighter. He beat Askar. Askar beat everybody. And he beat Pantoja, right? If I believe so.
He did. He beat Pantoja.
And he had a draw against Brandon. Pantoja's beat Brandon badly, and he had beat Kai Kara while Brandon was champ. Like, they really put themselves in a corner, and he had lost to Davidson, so he had his opportunity to get the title.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The trilogy kind of fucked up everything, to be honest.
Here's what it also comes down to. The reason why I'm more accepting of it is, like, I didn't really get to finish my point real quickly, but like when it comes to like a Pacquiao-Marquez situation in boxing, those guys fought 4 times over the span of like a decade. These guys have fought 4 times in a row. That's a little bit different. But as far as like,
shit, I'm not complaining.
And it also ended in a definitive way with Marquez knocking out Pacquiao. Granted, I believe he'd lost 3 of them before that, so whatever. Still, granted, all 3 of those fights were somewhat close, but he won every single one of them, I believe. There might be a draw in there. I don't really remember. I have not watched Pacquiao and Marquez in like years. But with this situation, I'm more accepting of it now because it's more clear. As much as I like Kai Kara France, he's gotten 3 wins in a row, which is dope. 2 of those were knockouts. But at the same time, it's like Askarov is really Rodrigo Von-Terren, is on like a bad winning streak. That's one of the wins. Cody Garbrandt, bad winning streak, one of the wins. And Askarov, which is dope. But if Askarov won, maybe there's a conversation, right? Because he'd beaten Pantoja, he beat Joe B, he would have beaten Kai Kara, Tim Elliott, draw with Moreno. You could do that fight. But since he lost, just do it. Just get it out of the way. Just do it soon, please.
Yeah. Like I told you, I think the third fight kind of fucked everything up. Now thinking about it kind of clearly, just looking at all the fighters and who they beat and how they beat them. At the time, Pantoja made a lot of sense versus Brandon, and then that way, if Pantoja would have won, it would have been an easy return to the title for Davison too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they should have just waited until Pantoja either got healthy or they should have given it to somebody else. Because now in the situation, because that fight was so close, they have to run it a 4th time. They really fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a big mistake. And I was excited for Pantoja fight. Remember we were talking about I was down for that shit.
Yeah, because that would have been a trilogy fight right there as well. But also, it was more interesting because, Pantoja seemingly had Moreno's number, and Moreno was coming off just an absolutely insane performance and so on and so forth. But now we're in a weird position where they got to fight a 4th time. So whatever, I'm sure it'll happen. I know the UFC's It's already been leaked or reported that the UFC's aiming for that fight for July, the quadrilogy fight. So
where at? Any info on that?
Not States? As of now. That's not what I've heard, but I've heard that that's what they're aiming for.
Maybe they'll do like in Arizona or Texas.
Yeah.
Even Florida.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't know, man. It's. I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. Regardless, though, still at the end, as far as like the card goes, awesome performance. I did think that he won it. As depressing as it was, because I'm a huge fan of Askarov. But I think that long layoff might have just killed him. Honestly, I think that might be it. But regardless, moving on down the card, Neil Magne defeating Max Griffin. This fight, we talked about why he was on the main card. He got bumped up to the main card. Insane performance. He'd win via split decision. Do you think that Magne actually deserved to get that one?
Dude, this is one actually I missed. I came back and I'm like, holy shit, what happened? Yeah. It was the one I missed on the card. The only one because I ran to the store and got something.
Oh yeah, Magne got fucked up early.
He got dropped,
rocked.
didn't he?
Yeah, he got rocked real bad in round 1, I believe. Round 2 was pretty close. Round 3 was just dominance by Magne, though.
Yeah, but at that point, if I remember, I'm pretty sure Max was pretty tired, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I'll say this, though. Max Griffin, dude, 36 years old, he proved that, like, he's still that guy. Like, he's still good, man. He's been up and down in his run, but he came on a nice winning streak, and he gave Neil Magne all he could handle, so.
He went for it.
He did. He did. And Neil Magne still, it's weird to think about, but, like, he's approaching, actually, he's already tied GSP for most wins in UFC welterweight history.
Holy shit.
That's insane. And he's been in the promotion since 2012.
He had one in there that slowed him down. Who was it? Was it Sean Brady or was it Michael Chiesa?
Chiesa.
Yeah, I think Chiesa.
If he had not lost to Chiesa, he'd be on a 6-fight winning streak. During that stretch, he beat The Leech, he beat Anthony Rocco Martin, Robbie Lawler, Jeff Neal, and Max Griffin.
I don't know how. I'm not even gonna lie. Neil Magny might have been a very hard matchup for fucking Sean Brady if he would have beat Chiesa.
Oh, I think so. I think that fight might have happened next, if we're being honest.
For Sean Brady, undefeated, bro. I don't know.
I mean, if you look at the division, Sean Brady's ranked number 8, Magny's ranked number 9. Masvidal's not going to fight either one of those guys. Wonder Boy, who knows? Bilal Muhammad's going to fight Luque. Edwards is fighting Usman. Burns is fighting Hamzat. Colby's Colby.
I don't know. He's waiting for the loser of one of those two fights.
Yeah, so who knows?
Or winner.
I can see it happening. I can see Magne versus Brady happening next. I'll say that. But, as far as the rest of the card goes, what are some of the other fights you're going to highlight just on the undercard?
Oh man, let me look back at it. I had it here a second ago. We got to highlight it, man. There's no secret about it. We talked about it last week. We talked about it this week. We're going to talk about it next week and the week after that. Chris Gutierrez, man, still on his little win streak. He's trucking along, and talk about a guy who deserves a ranked opponent next. Like it's so. It's so there, right? Who are they going to give him? They got to give him a pretty good guy, especially since he's such on a nice little run. They got to give him not even at least something above 15, if not just 15.
Yeah, they got to give him somebody, man. I don't know who he could face, but
are they going to sacrifice Marlon Moraes to Chris Gutierrez?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I hope not. We still don't have an update on Marlon. He took off his gloves in the cage. I'm assuming he's not retired. Because if he is,
I feel like they would have came out with something by now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But we haven't heard anything if he's in the UFC, he's going to get released, yada yada. We haven't heard shit, so that's a little bit weird. But yeah, dude, we talked about a few years of win streak going in. God damn, did he put the fucking stamp on it though, dude? Like,
beautiful
spinning back fist.
He was having trouble too in that first round.
He was, but it doesn't matter. You start a match, you finish.
Oh yeah, no, you're not wrong. I wonder. They're going to give him Frankie Yeager, another sacrificial lamb.
I think, what's interesting, I still don't know how good Frankie is at this point in his career. Like, I wouldn't call him a sacrificial lamb because I just don't know how good he is. Like, he lost to, he lost to Sandhagen.
Flying
instantly. So, we didn't really get to see how that fight was going to go. And then, obviously, he lost to Chito Vera in a really close fight, got knocked out right near the end. Before that, he beat Pedro Munoz. So, I have no idea how that one would, I'm not sure if that'd be a sacrificial lamb or what. I really don't know how good Frankie is.
That is a 40-year-old Frankie Yeager, though, Josh.
No, I'm aware. And he's been having more issues, but still, I don't know how it would go. I think that fight would make sense. I'd rather see that. Dude, goddamn, 135, that division is so messed up with rankings right now. A Sun Sal, 4-fight losing streak, I believe. At 15, Marlon Moraes 4-fight losing streak at 14, I believe. O'Malley, Simone, Edgar lost 4-5. Munoz lost 3 in a row. It's just
no. They got to push out Marlon and the Sunset, dude. No disrespect to those guys, but they need to, or at least give those guys young up and comers to see if they can handle the upcoming talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got to.
It's no secret. If Marlon does fight again, his next opponent won't be ranked.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. They gotta get both those guys out of the rankings. But the UFC does this thing where, they'll leave them ranked as long as they can, so that way they can give that ranking to somebody new.
Oh, you're telling me, dude. I see Jessica I still in the rankings. No disrespect, but she's been there for a while.
Yeah, I've been there for a fucking minute. Who is Jessica I fighting yet? She's had a fight announced.
She was supposed to fight Manny Ferro on this card, but that got canceled, and then she just got announced. Her new opponent just got announced.
Yeah, I don't remember who she's going to be fighting, but I know she just had a fight announced. Casey O'Neill.
That's a hard fight.
Yeah, there you go. That just makes sense with the rankings thing we just talked about. So, Chris Gutierrez, but regardless, back to the point, Chris Gutierrez got to get a ranked guy next. As far as the rest of the card goes, Manon Fiorot, we talked about her briefly, defeating Jennifer Maia. It was just dominance on that end. I don't know who they're going to give her next.
She's flying up the rankings.
Flying up the rankings. It's kind of crazy to think about. She debuted in January 2021. She's already ranked number 7. None of those fights have even been close either.
I mean, by the end of the year, she'll be top 5.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know who they're going to give her next, but dude, she's working her way up, and she's going up fast, man.
Actually, fuck it. Maybe even top 3.
Potentially. I think the 2 toughest matchups for Shevchenko in the division, Mene Farrow and Talia Santos. That's what I think.
Because of stand-up.
Huh?
I mean, her stand-up is just so good.
It's very good. She's
untested on the ground, though, I think, right? I don't know. Did Maya even get to take her down?
I don't believe so. She's apparently a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So,
mad.
You know, apparently, no. There's no real footage of her on the ground. I don't believe so.
She did lose to Leah McCord, but that was one of her early.
It was
fights,
her debut. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Leah McCord's whole game is like ground game. So
back in 2016, I think.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Times have changed.
Yeah. So. We'll see what happens there. You know,
I might have to look that up later.
Nicolau got a nice win over David Dobrak.
Oh man, did you watch that?
I did not.
Dude, it was we watched Matthias Nicolau fight. We thought he lost that fight against Manel. Remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, he could have got David Dvorak out of there multiple times. He was just afraid. I wouldn't say afraid to go in, but wasn't fully committed to take a shot, give one, because he could have put him out, dude. And I mean, honestly, if he wasn't doing like just enough as much as he was, dude, that fight could have slipped out of his hands again, or almost slipped out. Like he was gonna maybe go to another split decision when he didn't have to. He's gonna have to kind of start putting the stamp on some of these fights, man, because he's so talented, dude. But for some reason, he just doesn't put it all out there. And he's had multiple fights like that. I'm pretty sure. Because he's so talented, he's so good. You see it. It's just like, just commit a bit more, man. You know, just commit a bit more, and you can maybe even get these guys out of there.
Yeah, and he's only 29, so he just turned 29 actually. So it could just be that he's not fully at that level yet. But I mean, we'll see, dude. 3-5 winning streak though, 18-2-1. Another guy in the division that like had the division be working like on its normal pace, he might be fighting for a title soon, but
yeah,
nowhere close now. Yeah, man, nice night of fights. Very, very nice night of fights. A whole lot. Obviously, we have a break this week. Then next week, though, we got the pay-per-view, dude.
Oh, we come back, baby. We come back hard.
We come back hard, fast, strong. Volkanovski, Korean Zombie, Sterling, Cheater Yang 2, Gilbert Burns, Hamzat Jamayev, Mackenzie Dern, Tisha Torres, Olenek, Latifi. God damn, what a main card, dude. What a main card. Fights all around. Honestly, it's gonna be even that undercard is stacked too, dude. So that's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. That's next week. However, there is no card this week. Not UFC, no Bellator, no boxing, no nothing. We've been ahead and took some fan questions. We'll get to those in a minute. We do have some MMA news to tackle before that, though. So this is just a couple of headlines. Obviously, there's some recent stuff that you guys actually asked about, so a bit of a slow news section, but just a couple of stories to go and tackle here. Dude, they are giving Alex Bahia the fast track. Now, we said this, that they're gonna do this for a while. I don't even think we thought that they would do this move.
No, I wasn't expecting.
No, yeah, not expecting it at all. Alex Bahia, UFC 277. I believe that is a July card. Don't quote me on that. But that's gonna be this summer, regardless, and still unranked. I feel like I should point that out. Alex Bahia is still unranked. He's going to be fighting the 4th ranked middleweight on the planet. 4! Unranked versus 4, Sean Strickland.
He's on an unbeaten streak at middleweight.
And, this isn't... First of all, are you surprised that they did this move? And secondly, what are your thoughts on the matchup itself?
I mean, I'm surprised they chose Sean Strickland of all people, first of all. But, I mean, I guess they thought that's a good matchup in their eyes, which... I don't know if it's gonna be. You know what I mean?
Mm.
We'll see. Obviously, when that fight comes around, we'll definitely talk about it a significantly more amount. But yeah, they shocked me with this one, Josh. I mean, they like when someone wants you shocked the shit out of me. They shocked the shit out of me, man.
Mm. Yeah, same page. I mean, I'm extremely shocked they decided to make this matchup. Because, I mean, for a lot of reasons, too, because, like, this is a fight that, like, dude, I don't want to say, like, Sean Strickland, I don't want to say it's a guaranteed win. By no means it is, but, dude, The man can grapple. Like, we forget because he's like, he's literally fucking insane. And he typically does a lot of stand-up. But the man can grapple. He can. A lot of it is used defensive grappling, but dude, I mean, if you're getting out-grappled by the guy whose name I can't even remember, oh my god. Paez is not his last opponent, the one before that. The guy before he fought Bruno Silva.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. And, you know, let's be honest. If you know who you're talking about, if you know about Alex Paez, you know about his last opponent.
Yeah, the Spartan. Andreas Machilis, I think.
Something like
I think that's his name. Really hard name to pronounce. That's how I remember it. Anyways, he was out grappling, dude. And Sean Strickland, he's going to back him to the fence. He's going to use some grappling. He has insane cardio. I wish this was actually a main event rather than a 3-rounder. I would have loved to see, you know, like sometimes they'll do like 5-round fights that aren't like title fights or whatever. I would love to see that for this card. For some reason, they're not doing it, which is kind of lame.
By the way, if he wins, does he fight Izzy right after? Or does it make him do one more?
Yeah. They got to. The winner of this has to fight for a title. I don't know who else they could do.
The disrespect on Jared Kent. No, it's kidding.
No, I mean, Jared's gonna fight him. We know that. But I'm talking about
I'm so bothered by that.
Why?
I just don't look. I just wish they would have just gave the rematch to Derek before the Jared fight. I thought he was deserving of it. I thought he had done enough.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's pretty clear they did not want him to fight for the title.
I know. It's some bullshit.
It is bullshit. Yeah, man. I mean, it's frustrating, but at the end of the day, I don't really know what's. I mean, as far as they got to give it to Jared. I'll say that he's worked his way up. He's done everything right. I am bummed that they did not give the shot to Brunson whenever he deserved it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. The winner of this should fight the winner of Kennedy or Adesanya. I'll put it like that. I don't even know who else it could be. Because Vittori's going to be fighting Whitaker, and I like both those guys, but they both got to get multiple wins before they get a trilogy fight with Izzy. That's just the way it works. Which I know is both of their goals, so, you know, we'll see what happens. I like this fight a lot, though. I'm surprised they're doing it, but I like it a lot. But keeping on moving down the line in terms of MMA news, this one, I'm not really sure what to say about it, but I feel like we have to cover it because everybody else is. James, I'm sure you've heard the news. This is like the craziest story, based off of how it's going in court. So Chael Sonnen, back in December, he was arrested. It might have even been like right after like an Eagle SC card. It was like the weekend he was covering something for ESPN, I believe. So he was busy.
Wasn't it like a week after all the John shit?
No, because John allegedly beat the shit out of his wife in September. This happened in December.
Armand.
I believe it was right after like a big card. Like what was the December card? I can't remember. The pay-per-view. But regardless, he was in Vegas for it. I'm pretty sure it was like the weekend or whatever. And he got charged with like 5 counts of battery. And then like a week or two later, all charges were dropped. And that's whenever we started hearing about like, oh, Chael was defending his wife or something. And I love Mr. Sonnen. I'll be straight up. Chael Sonnen might be one of my favorite like fighters of all time. Like I remember whenever I was like 14 or 15, I would watch hours compilations of Chael Sonnen talking shit. Like that was just like
you still don't do that?
Fair enough. You're right, actually. Like my favorite, the most underrated, funny moment in MMA history was whenever Chael Sonnen went on the Celebrity Apprentice. And he cut, like, they had, like, to do some challenge on, like, a computer. And he cut, like, he cut, like, a power cord or some shit.
Oh, my God.
So they could get more time. Like, so he literally just did some fucking...
Some fuckery.
Splinter Cell type shit. And just to get more time. He got kicked off the show.
That's comedy.
It's so funny, and nobody talks about it. Big, underrated, funny MMA moment in MMA history. So there you go. But as far as this story goes, so all the charges related to Chael dropped. They were dropped. I don't remember what the exact term is, but there's a legal term for whenever they drop them. But they're like, we can bring up charges if there's more evidence that comes in the future. I believe it's called like with prejudice. I think it's like what they call it. Like charges were dropped with prejudice, or something along those lines. I'm very dumb. I don't know anything about court-related proceedings and shit. So, in case it's not very obvious. So then, a month goes by, they bring up, 17 charges on Chael.
Jesus.
It was, 1 count of felony battery, and I believe, I actually will pull it up in front of me now. 1 count of felony battery and 10 misdemeanors, including alleged choking of one person, striking of a female, among others. So then, 5 of those misdemeanors are dropped yesterday, and the felony charges also dropped. So right now, he's looking at about 6 misdemeanors. Chael's very, very rich. He does not have he does not have any other previous law enforcement incidents.
Luckily.
He'll probably be fine, But regardless, what a crazy story. What is your take on this whole situation with Chael? Because it's been such a roller coaster of a situation.
I mean, when the situation first came out, I mean, it was so out of context. We didn't know what had happened, and then we find out what happened. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, shit, I don't give a fuck. Chael beat up 5 dudes. Man, if there's any footage of that, I'd love to see it.
Right?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, I mean, he beat up. I mean, the whole story was he if you read it, it was he punched one man, elbowed another man in the chest, kneed one in the face, struck another, choked another, just some crazy shit. It's a bad look though, man. I mean, I'm a huge Chael fan. So I did some digging. I read into the police reports. Because there's been there were some stories out there that he's being sued over this, obviously, and they were he put up a female against the wall, and he started choking her, and he struck her multiple times, but that's just from a lawsuit, and obviously, if he's getting sued, that's their side of the situation, that's not factual. But the police reports, his wife had injuries, and she was sleeping in bed, and apparently Chael was, his defense is I took an Ambien, I don't remember shit. That was his defense. And I'm like, man, that's a bad look, but also, man, have you heard about Ambien stories, Angel?
No.
Dude, look, I'll say this much, dude. I've read some shit online, because I started doing some research. I'm so let's say, is this even a feasible defense in the court of law? Apparently it is. Dude, Ambien, and granted, this is just Ambien, but I feel this is the case with a lot of sleep drugs. You can have a lot of bad side effects, There are stories of people taking Ambien and waking up hours later in a completely different town. They don't remember driving. They don't remember doing anything. I'd recommend you read some of these stories. You can just look them up, dude. There's a lot of insane side effects. So apparently that is a somewhat reasonable court defense. Especially since Chael has no misdemeanors or any other situation like this. Who knows, dude? Especially if you stay up too. You get a lot of fucked up side effects. So we'll see what happens, though. Very interesting story, though. Very, very interesting. Look, dude, if they keep on knocking down misdemeanors, I think Chael's going to be fine. I understand that everybody's really stressed out about it, and it's a bad look, but look, man, if Mr. Sonnen took some sleeping pills and doesn't remember anything, I'm somewhat inclined to believe him. Never heard anything bad about Chael in my life, so there you go. Last kind of news to hit before we get into fan questions. Angel. For legal reasons, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about one championship, one FC, but I do feel inclined to talk about this situation, this fight that happened last week, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson defeating Rogtong. Now, this is a part of a huge card. They're having 1X, I believe, for their 10-year anniversary, and on this card, they had Demetrius Johnson taking on Rogtong, obviously the Muay Thai legend, still only 24 years old, I believe, and it was 1 round Muay Thai, another round of MMA, 1 round Muay Thai, another round of MMA. Dude, DJ goes in there on some goat shit. He stands in the pocket, trades with Rogtong for the first round, goes out, takes him down, submits him in the second. I'm not really going to go ahead and ask your thoughts on the fight, because I've talked to you a lot about it, and I know that you went ahead and, said it on Twitter, goat shit, I believe, was what you said. I kind of know your thoughts on that. But for his legacy, man, do you think this helps him in a kind of big way? Because I'm kind of inclined to think this kind of, everything about this fight exemplifies everything about how good DJ is. No,
yeah, definitely. You know how some of those, it's kind of I can't compare it to anything, but you know how some guys have those fights back in the day, in Pride or in even some other shit where they fought some guy just when fucking BJ Penn fought, what's his name?
Machida.
Machida, like that shit's cool, man. Like did he win it? No, but the fact that he fought Machida, went the distance, and actually like did kind of like fucked up Machida a bit at one point in the fight.
He rocked him, I believe, and he also won a round.
Yeah, like that shit's awesome. It's kind of like that, and the best part is he won the fight against Rotong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a special rules bout, right? I mean, it wasn't like a I guess no grappling, only stand-up fight or MMA fighter, just a strictly Muay Thai fight or whatever, or even kickboxing. But it was still cool, man.
Mm. Yeah, man, it was sick. I mean, I thought this kind of exemplified everything about who DJ is. See, I heard him talk about this on the MMA Hour before he fought Roxon. He's like, you know what? I see guys like Jake Paul, and he wasn't specifically trying to take a shot at Jake specifically, but he's like, I see guys like him calling out guys, and I see it the other way around for like, oh, why don't you come fight in MMA, why don't you fight in boxing, calling out guys from different sports, yada, yada, yada. Just fucking do it. Go fight him in their sport. Who cares if we lose? At the end of the day, I'm not worried about losing to Roxon, because I can just say, I can wake up and be like, you know what, fuck it, I lose. It happens. Or at least I tried, you know? I went out and did something crazy. I'm 35 years old. Not going to have the time to do this forever, you know? And that's some goat shit. And he goes out, and I saw some people giving him shit, you know? I will say most of it was respect. I know you saw a lot of DJ slander on the timeline, you know? But I saw a lot of people giving him respect because, dude, he went in there in the first round. He was on the back foot for sure. But, dude, he was trading in there. He cracked Rodton a couple of times, but the dude has a chin made of adamantium, so it didn't go down, you know. DJ's not the hugest hitter anyway, but still, I mean, he cracked him a couple of times. Look, this is not going to be, whenever DJ's career ends within the next probably 5 years or so, which is pretty sad, but he's had an insane run already.
Yeah, it happens to everybody, right? Like everybody.
It happens to everybody, you know. At 35 to be doing what he's doing in such a like light weight class, still crazy anyways, but, you know, regardless, when his career ends in like 5 years, we're not really going to be talking about this one.
Hey, we got to shout out Rotan too. He didn't tap either. He went to sleep.
No, he didn't. He went to sleep. And you know what? He did a lot better job fighting the hands, and because DJ got his back early in the round. He did better than I would expect. But he still got choked out. So, it happens. It happens.
I mean, what do you start from a guy who's never fought, you know, MMA his whole life?
Literally never fought MMA. That's what's crazy to me about this. Because a lot of the times they do these, like, mixed rules bouts. Sometimes they'll have some experience, you know? But, dude, like, Broadsong, that was the only time he's ever done anything MMA related, I believe.
Really? I thought he'd done something else. Might be wrong, but.
Yeah, man, you might be right, but. Yeah, man, that was impressive as fuck. Like I said, it's not going to be a fight that we're ever going to be talking about, like, historically for DJ. It did not matter a whole lot, but for me, it just kind of exemplified everything about how good of an athlete he is and the risks he's willing to take, you know? Just such an awesome moment for him to kind of get his flowers, because very rarely have seen DJ during his current run in one championship. You don't see him get talked about a whole lot because one's not talked about a whole lot, you know? Obviously, he had a nice run through, like, the Grand Prix, and he won it. He lost the fight with Adriano Moraes, but Adriano Moraes might be the best fighter outside, you know, the UFC at the moment. So,
one of them, at least. One of many. Let's just
one
be
of
honest.
many. But he's very, very skilled. And he also looks huge next to DJ. So, you know, there you go. Yeah, man, solid performance. Love to see it. Goddamn, DJ's a legend. We gotta appreciate him while he's here, man. We really gotta. I feel like this is the most time I've seen anybody appreciate DJ. But dude, we gotta appreciate him while he's here, man. I mean, I know that you and I do. We saw him live fuck up Wilson Hayes years ago. So
that was awesome.
We're huge fans of DJ. We both have him near the top of the GOAT discussion, if not number one. So
Shout out,
man. Shout out him. You gotta show your respect at the end of the day. One of the GOATs never gets talked about because he left the UFC, and because the average MMA fan has, like, the time span of, like, a goldfish, you know? Like, they really don't, like, anybody who's, Kamaru's the GOAT angel, you know? Like,
yeah.
Guys come up all the time, you know?
Volk is the greatest 145er of all time.
That's just the way it goes, man. That's just the way it goes. But yeah, DJ's the GOAT, straight up. He might be the GOAT. As far as MMA news, that's all we got. But we're going down to some fan questions. We scoured the globe for some fan questions. We did get a couple of them.
I know. We went far. We went to Iceland. You know, we went to Abu
We
Dhabi.
went far and wide asking people.
We were in Singapore for a bit. We even visited Thailand, and now we're back here.
For sure, man. So, got a couple of these off the IG and off Twitter. First one from Quinn Houston, I believe, on Instagram. Thoughts on Khamzat being such a massive favorite to Burns? Now, I knew that Khamzat was a favorite. But
he?
I actually,
Is he a favorite? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I knew he was a favorite, and I knew that he was like a 3-1 favorite, I believe. Then I checked it, Angel. He is as high as a 6-1 favorite on some betting lines.
I see a minus 590 on Tapology.
So I'm on fightodds.io, and you get like the whole gambit from a bunch of different sites.
Uh-huh.
Everywhere has him at minimum minus 500. I see him as high as a minus 620. So 5 to 6-1 favorite. That is insane to me. Like, I understand that we might. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because I feel like we hype. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of value Gilbert Burns higher than the average person.
That's because we actually know about fighting, Josh.
I mean, true, because I feel like everybody.
I watched this shit.
Everybody says, like, dude, Colby's the only one to ever challenge Kamaru, as if, like, Gilbert Burns didn't spend the majority of that fight fucking up Kamaru and dropping. He's the only person to drop Kamaru Usman.
Oh my god, dude, I fucking hate that fight. I go back watching it, and I think I lose my fucking mind watching it.
He was so close, dude. He was so close.
It wasn't even that, dude. I'm just pissed that he stayed on the ground.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, fair enough. He had him rocked badly. So I understand that, like, we view him different because we know about fighting. But dude, that is insane to me that he is a 5 to 6-1, favorite. That's insane. Granted, we'll talk about the fight next. There's not a whole lot we can say about this one because, like, we'll talk about it next week. But
we'll give our full thoughts. I mean, that's not that far from that. But just finding that out, I didn't realize he was that big of a favorite, though.
And we're not even at fight week yet, so it's only going to get bigger. People are going to put more money.
Well, I mean, it could change. It could change. People, once.
It could, yeah. I mean, it could get bigger. But let's be honest. I don't think.
Or it could get tighter. It could get tighter. That's happened too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though. It could still change, but as of right now, 5 to 6-1 favorite. Actually, I was wrong. One place, Sportsbet, currently has Khamzat at a 9-1 favorite.
Fuck. Bet there, right? Bet there on Gilbert if you want to make some money.
There's another place, 7-1 Bovada. So I actually misread it. Yeah, there's some places where it's even bigger of a favorite. So yeah, that's too. Like minus 500 is like the floor. Jesus. Okay. It's even worse. So yeah, that's insane to me. We'll talk about odds in a minute though, because our boy Nate asked a good question about upsets and so on and so forth. But this is actually a good question coming from Leslie Chubbuck on Instagram. The GOAT.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. But up and coming MMA fighter to watch right now. This is actually a really good question, I thought.
Up and coming. I guess that's different than established, right?
Correct. So who's somebody that, like, they could be outside the UFC, maybe not even fighting in the UFC, maybe not even ranked, who you kind of look at as like, you know what? This person could be a contender in the future.
Oh man, this would have been a good one to ask beforehand, Josh. Not gonna lie, because I could have done.
It's in the chat. I mean, what do you mean?
no, I actually already have one. Muhammad Mokaev.
I knew you were gonna say Mokaev, man.
Muhammad Mokaev. I think the best prospect in MMA right now, in my opinion, young. I'm talking legitimate prospect, not like somewhat established with a fair bit of fights, even though he has fought a lot at the amateur level. It's Muhammad Mokaev.
Yeah, he has only one fight in UFC, so I'll let that one go.
Which makes sense. That's a young talent. That's a prospect. A guy who doesn't have a lot of fights, doesn't have a lot of experience, is on the come up.
Mm. Yeah, I can respect that. Now, I'm not sure if I want to say this one because, like, she's kind of established, but I'm not sure too many people actually do know of her. Because, oh shit, she did just get ranked. Never mind. I was going to say Erin Blanchfield because she's 22, only 2 fights in the UFC.
I think you could have done that last year. I think last year that would have been a good pick. But I think you could still say that now. I mean, I don't think I have an issue with that.
Oh yeah, I'll go with her because I feel like some people don't really pay attention to flyweight. She only has only 2 fights in the UFC. She's won them both. In like dominant fashion, like let me see, there's like 30, 26.
Can I give a 30? No, I'll give a female too since you gave a female. I think that's only fair. I see Josie Nunes. I think she's fun too. I think she has a lot of potential. Mini Tyson girl, I love her. She's real small.
Yeah, okay.
She put out Bay Malecki.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
She has 2 really good performances already in the UFC. And she fought Talia Santos outside of the UFC. That's her only loss.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a very good pick. The one I'm actually going to say, since you gave a male and a female, I'm going to go ahead and give a male as well. This guy's only 24, and he's only fought on UFC Fight Nights. He's not looked very impressive, but because of how young he is, I'm still inclined to think he's the real deal. Nick Maximov out of Nick Diaz Academy. This kid is only 24 years old. He's won 2 fights in the UFC. One via split. The other one was not very impressive either, Cody Brundage. But this kid is so young. He's only going to get better. And I'm excited to watch him continue, in the UFC. I really think that's the kid that,
You know who we fucked up that we could have said too?
Who?
Casey's very own, David Onama, bro.
David Onama. That's another good pick. There's a lot of good young talent. And I realize this is like a UFC. I believe this is a UFC question. Let me make sure. Oh, it was just MMA, not UFC. Okay, well, shit. I was going to say.
In MMA, we could say guys who aren't even prospects, like guys who aren't in the UFC.
Yeah, I was going to drop a couple, Bellator names, you know what I mean? There's a couple of those wrestlers they picked up that are, the real deal Holyfield, you know what I'm saying? Like a couple of those guys that are, they went ahead and went out and, picked them up as far as, they have, essentially no MMA experience. The big one that I'm actually going to go and drop, Pat Downey. Have you heard of that Pat Downey at all?
For the name.
So Pat Downey, interesting story. This kid's a monster wrestler. He was D1 All-American for, I believe, Iowa or Iowa State. I don't really remember. He's 29 now, but he had a lot of legal issues. I believe he got cleared of them. Actually, no, he didn't. He did not actually.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, he had. Whenever he was he was in high school and he had first-degree assault, and he went to jail for a little bit. He had robbery. Whenever he was in high school, he had really fucked up. He had a lot going on. He eventually went ahead and got his life on track. He became an All-American and tried out for the Olympics somewhat recently as well. Great wrestler. Bellator signed him. They decided, let's risk it on this kid. And he decided they signed him earlier this year. He was supposed to make his debut. He's actually supposed to fight in April, but he had to pull out because he got red skin syndrome, which I'm not sure you heard about. But he should be fine. So yeah, that's a kid that I'm really looking forward to. Pat Downey.
You didn't shout out your boy Cody Law. I'm surprised.
Oh, well, I've talked about Cody Law enough. I think most people that know,
I guess if you said the Bellator guy, I'll do another Bellator. I'll do Romero Cotton, dude. That guy's a fucking savage. Also from Kansas. So,
that's a good pick.
Gotta give some love. I know he had some legal troubles too, and he was young, and he was a national champion, but at second division, but still very impressive. No hate, obviously. And yeah, shout out to him. There's a lot of good talent. You can. I think right now, man, you can watch the PFL, the UFC, ONE FC, Bellator, and you can find a young talent that you can get attached to real quick.
Well, now since you said him, I'm gonna pick it up. No, I'm fucking around. No, the one I am gonna say. I can't believe we forgot it. Bo Nickel. Dude, I can't believe we did not mention Bo Nickel. Olympian, incredible wrestler, 3-time D1 national champion. He was the guy that Masvidal brought in camp. I believe he's had 2 amateur fights, and he's won one via first round submission, the other one via first round knockout. Still has not made his pro debut, so Bo Nickel's gonna be a fucking problem, guys. Let me just tell you, that's another one you gotta go.
Just you fucking wait.
Just you wait till I see you next time, Angel. If you lay a finger on me, I'm pressing charge. No, I'm joking around. I'm joking around. Another one. What's your take? God damn it. What's your take on Will Smith slapping Chris Rock? Angel, I don't really care about this one, but everybody's talking about it.
I don't really care about this one either. Whatever. All
right, cool. Moving on. I think it's really funny. I think it's fun. I think you know what's funny? I feel like 20 years ago, I feel like no one really would have given a fuck as much as they do now. Yeah, I was thinking the fact that it was on camera, live television, made it bigger, but
oh yeah, definitely.
I don't see there's some people that are making it oh my god, I can't believe it. Dude, it's not a big deal. It's 2 millionaires having a beef. I really don't care.
Yeah. And no one's getting sued, so
nobody's getting sued. Nobody pressed charges. So
yeah, everybody's cool.
Yeah,
there's a lot of jokes I want to make right now, but just with everything that's going on right now in the world and getting canceled over some shit, I'm not trying to make any.
Yeah, I honestly don't care. As far as Yeah, I don't really care about that one. I think it's funny though. This one's coming from our boy Nate. Nate Beggs, former host of the show. We should get Nate on in the future, man. That'd be fun. But regardless, Nate Beggs. If Zombie beats Volk next week, would that be the biggest upset in UFC history?
Absolutely not.
Really?
No.
Do you think it's up there?
Yeah, it's probably decently up there, but look, to me, I genuinely think that Zombie's one of those sneaky guys who can maybe beat him. I don't know. I don't think, I don't want to give my prediction now necessarily, but I do think he's a sneaky guy who, in the division, he could beat, on a good day, pretty much everybody in this division. You know what I mean? He's just that kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's really just one of those guys that maybe you don't think about it, maybe you don't expect it necessarily, but he really could.
Mm-hmm.
He really could, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. Granted, since we were talking about, like, betting wise, I decided to go ahead and pull this one up as well. Angel, we both have a lot of respect for Korean Zombie, and I feel like sometimes
that's
our views get
we know about fights.
We know about fighting, but like, just guess. Like,
I'm sure it's bigger than Hosmont and Gilbert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even really close either. The floor, Bovod has him in minus 450, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's 4.5 to 1. That's not too bad. That's like the floor, dude. Most places have him bare minimum 7 to 1. Some places have him as high as 10 to 1. Yeah. Going off of that, it would be one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. I don't personally see it that way. I think Volk is so good, but Korean Zombie could crack.
It's like I told you when we talked about the whole Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes thing, and the GSP and Matt Serra. Yeah. But like I told you, at the time, you got to think about it. GSP wasn't established. Like, GSP was on a good run. He was the champ, but he was not established like the GSP we know now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it was an upset, but it wasn't like one of the biggest. Like it was because of the betting line and all of that. But in hindsight, it wasn't. In my opinion, it wasn't as big as Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes, because at that point, now Amanda's established as the greatest female fighter of all time.
And Juliana had not done much of anything in years.
Yeah.
Like, she beat Sarah McMahon, but she was losing that fight, and like she did not look very good. She got it because she got the fight because like there was nobody else around.
Especially in the fashion it happened and everything. Obviously, that doesn't play part into it. But the thing is, I think if Zombie came out and he beat Volk, I'd be like, holy shit, that's crazy. I didn't expect it. But to me, it wouldn't be a bigger upset than Juliana Pena, over Amanda Nunes. Yeah.
Also that, another one, for me, I always think it's going to be Bisping Rockhold too. I mean, I love Bisping, dude, and I remember we watched that card. We were playing COD Black Ops 3 Zombies, and we had the card on, like, in the background. Like, we're talking over Xbox Live.
Shout out.
Really fun night. I'm not sure you remember, but I remember I lost my shit with Bisping. I was such a huge Bisping fan, and I really
thought... Your dad came out. I remember that. That was the night.
It was hilarious. He's like, dude, why the fuck are you yelling? It's midnight. But yeah, it was like awesome. But dude, that one will always be the biggest because like he took that fight on like 15 days notice. He got destroyed by him when they fought just like a year previous. It was not like there was a huge gap in time. He lost to him 15 months before that. Badly. He got knocked down and he got submitted. He got brutalized in that fight. Comes out and knocks him out easily.
I know, but when you hear the context of that, it makes so much more sense.
Yeah, it'll always be that one. He took it on 2 weeks notice. And 15 months before that, he got messed up, goes in.
Oh, no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the fight that he lost. Did you ever, listen to him talk about that?
What do you mean?
The eye was already fucked up, remember?
Oh, yeah, it was. It's been
and during that fight, he fucked up the other eye, so he couldn't see he was basically blind. I think the blood was dripping into his good eye, and it was basically just blinding him. So he was basically blind during the fight.
Yeah.
So even then, that could have played out different if that doesn't happen.
His eye was messed up since the Vitor fight, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, man, it'd be up there just by virtue of betting wise, but I would not be that shocked. I mean, I'd be surprised for sure, but like.
Oh no, it'd be shocking. That
would not be the biggest upset ever.
No, I wouldn't consider it. I don't even think it'd be close.
Yeah, I also think that we kind of put a lot of stock in Zombie though. I feel like just a lot of people like just saw him lose to Ortega, and I feel like a lot of people just don't really give him any respect because of that. As if Brian Ortega's not one of the best fighters on the planet. Like, yeah, he got messed up by him, but like, he got rocked so early in that fight where he's talked about like, yeah, I don't remember fighting the last 4 rounds. Like which is scary as fuck. But
and he went distance too. So
yeah, he did. So I would not be that. I'd be surprised, but it would not be insane to me.
And he's with Coach Cejudo too, and we've seen and then like the people that have been going to that camp. I mean, they had Weili Zhang, Yuri's out there right now training. They got Korean Zombie. They have Davison. I mean, that camp is full of killers right now. The Tracy Cortez has been out there training too, and I mean other people.
I like how you started to slip in Tracy Cortez in there. Like we're like Weili Zhang, Yuri Prochazka, the Zombie.
I mean, she's a young talent.
No, she is, but I'm not gonna say anything more. I just thought it was funny.
That's my cousin's girl, bro. I need to shout her out, bro. I can't, not shout out cousin's girl.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I thought it was funny because you're like talking about like established champions and future champions,
Just you wait, Josh. Tracy Cortez, future champion 2024.
Just you wait till I see you next time, Angel. Just you wait till I see you next time. I thought it was. Hey, I agree with you. She's great, dude. She's great. I was there for the start of her career, bro. I saw her a couple times. Great.
I know you did. We need to go back. I hope we need to go out to Invicta sometime, man. I wanted to go to their last event.
I'm down to go in the future. But yeah, man, she's great. But last question from @ToadJogan on Twitter. I believe. I'm assuming that's like a Joe Rogan reference, but
probably.
Thoughts on Nate Diaz requesting to be released? Do you think this is actually just a ploy for him to get more money and get a fight, or do you think he actually wants out?
I don't know. Maybe he's just tired of waiting. I think that's just what it is. Just a little frustration.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's mainly what it is more than anything. I don't think it's necessarily like a big, like scheme or anything like that. Because he's not even saying anything wild. He's just like, please, respectfully release me. Give me a fight. I don't even think that's so. I don't think it's much of anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I really don't. I don't want to say I don't care, but I think
Josh is like, I don't care.
They need to just give him a fight already. It's kind of getting ridiculous. We've been hearing about him and Poirier. They both said they want to do it. It would make them a ton of money. Yes, Nate might leave, but
who gives a fuck?
If you don't want him to leave, offer him money. It's as simple as that. If you don't want him to leave, offer him a good contract. Offer him another contract. It's literally the ball is in their court. It's extremely, extremely stupid at this point in time. But that's just my opinion. I don't think it's like a big ploy. I truly don't. I don't think he wants to leave, but I think he's frustrated. He wants to fight. He sees his buddy Anthony Medeiros getting signed to Bellator. He's like, dude, I'd love to fight in Hawaii.
Let me bang.
It's funny. I saw Jake Shields talk about. Because a lot of people were like, oh, he wants out to go box. Jake Paul. I saw Jake Shields talk about it. He's like, Nate doesn't want to fight Jake. He doesn't think he's earned the right to face him, and then he'd only do it for so much. He's like, it had to be 15 mil.
I don't know about that, but
I believe that's what Jake Shields said. I could be misremembering.
Yeah, Josh, but you've seen Jake Shields' tweets, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
and you've also seen Jake Shields fight, so that's all I need.
I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But regardless, thank you for all the fan questions, guys. I did have to cut a couple of them out, but they were not good questions.
No hate.
It's all good. Overall, though, hope you guys did enjoy the show. Angel, is there anything else we talk about before we close out?
No, it's a banger, man. It was a little shorter than usual, maybe potentially. I think maybe we just hit
actually, I believe it was longer than last week. This is an hour and 8 minutes.
Oh, never mind. We just went over. But I mean, next week we're back with a pay-per-view. Preview that. Bellator's gonna be back. We'll be back and rolling. Obviously, it sucks to have a little week break, but I mean, we still able to recap last week, give a little bit of news, give a couple of thoughts out there, which is it's kind of a nice change up, man. Not having to look into a card and have to prep for a card and all that, and feel the pressure of it. But yeah, I know this is a nice little change of pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so. I enjoyed this episode. Obviously, it's kind of nice to have a week off, but I'll be chilling, watching WrestleMania. So it's all good, guys. It's all good. AEW's popping right now. WWE's popping. It's all good. Don't always gotta talk about MMA. I won't say anything more because I know that our fans probably don't give a shit. But regardless, this is a fun one to do. I like taking fan questions every once in a while. Don't want to overdo it, but yeah, appreciate all the people who sent in questions. Appreciate you guys for listening. At Josh Evanoff on Twitter for me, at Angel Ortega _01 for you, at Courtside Sound for all things Alicia. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace and butt grease. Mouse click.